Main man here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. I just wanted to dive into this subject real quick because I've been kind of getting a lot of emails about this. Some people feel as though I give Gennady Golovkin a lot of passes when it comes to the sport of boxing. So I would like to address some of those inquiries, and you know who you are. I'm going to say this. The biggest consensus out there is that in a lot of people's minds, for Gennady Golovkin to stamp who he is and to have a legacy worth mentioning in a lot of people's minds, believe it or not, is that Gennady Golovkin has to move up in weight and do the same thing at another weight that he's currently doing at the 160-pound division. I say if Gennady Golovkin does that, outstanding, good, and I think eventually he will. But let's be realistic and let's get out of our emotions for a second here. Let's weigh the options. Gennady Golovkin now has 3 of the major belts at 160. He's looking to gain the 4th in the WBO title, which is held by Billy Joe Saunders. Now, if Gennady Golovkin moves up to 168 pounds, he is possibly leaving, possibly risking vacating some of his titles, and he's possibly risking without making history and gaining that last title and being totally undisputed at middleweight. Haven't been done since B-Hop, right? So he'll lose that opportunity. The Canelo Alvarez fight, which Canelo Alvarez is fighting between the weights of 154 and 160 at this time, that fight goes out the window as well. Now, we're willing to throw all of that out the window to go up and wait to face either a James DeGale or a Badu Jack, right? Those are the first 2 names that have come out of most people's mouths when you say move up and wait. All right, that's at the 168-pound division. These are 2 champions. Now, in Badu Jack's case, it's politics involved, given his affiliations with Al Heyman and PBC, and given Gennady Golovkin's affiliation with HBO. That fight will be hell to make. Very, very much hell to make, all right? Let's go. James DeGale, well, if he was to get the gumption enough to fight Gennady Golovkin, then that fight more than likely on James DeGale's end will have to go down in the UK. And unless they're throwing a humongous bag of money to Gennady Golovkin, that fight ain't gonna happen in the UK. Gennady Golovkin went over and fought Kell Brook in the UK because look at the amount of money that they paid Gennady Golovkin to fly over the pond and take that fight. Now, I don't see James DeGale putting that kind of money, and his people putting up that kind of money for Gennady Golovkin. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I could be wrong, but it would take a lot to entice Gennady Golovkin to come back over to the UK to face a James DeGale. So I don't know how that would end up. Imagine the clusterfuck with that. Now, is that worth losing titles and losing a super fight with Canelo Alvarez? Okay, cool. Andre Ward has moved up to 175 pounds. If you are saying that Triple G is going to skip a division to go up to 175, I doubt that very seriously. The question will be, will Andre Ward come down from 75 to meet Gennady Golovkin at a catchweight? And if Andre Ward defeats Sergey Kovalev for all of his belts, will he risk vacating his titles to come down in weight? These are the things that fight fans don't like to talk about, the realistic shit, you know what I'm saying? We just want to say, oh, well, Gennady Golovkin should move up and weight and do what everyone else did. This fighter did it, that fighter did it, this fighter did it. The fact that people forget to mention that making a fight with Gennady Golovkin is not fucking easy. These fighters want an extraordinary amount of money to face Gennady Golovkin because they know that the chances are extremely high that they would take a loss to Gennady Golovkin. People have a problem figuring that out. I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? So Gennady Golovkin has sat down, him and his people have weighed their options and saying, well, going up, losing all my titles, risk losing the Canelo fight for these bunch of fighters that I'm going to have to go through hell and hot water with to make a fight. You know what I'm saying? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? If you were in Gennady Golovkin's shoes, would you take that route? Just to please some fans. Because I personally will be pleased at Gennady Golovkin for making history by uniting all the belts and by giving me that Canelo super fight that will sell so many fucking pay-per-views. You know what I'm saying? The fact of the matter is, I think that route is the better route for Gennady Golovkin. And I don't understand how a lot of other people can't understand. They don't want to. It's either racially driven or it's agenda driven or it's just fucking biased. But as a non-biased boxing fan, you got to see this shit as clear as day, man. And that is real talk. So for anyone out there who wonders why I'm not that dude that's on here yelling and screaming about Gennady Golovkin should go up and wait and do X, Y, Z. Man, look, I'm realistic about this shit, and I see what's in front of him. And if I was in Gennady Golovkin's shoes, I wouldn't move up either. It's just not fucking worth it. I'm losing too goddamn much to go up to a bunch of probabilities and unfucking knowns. Look, we got Daniel Jacobs, man. A fight that's a mandatory fight. A fight that should be like a no-brainer to make. But look at this shit. This dude want to come along the line and change rules that's been in place long before him and Gennady Golovkin. You know what I'm saying? Now he wants these sanctioning bodies to change their percentages, to change their mandatory rules and all this extra shit to accommodate him to step in there to fight with Gennady Golovkin. This is the type of shit that Gennady Golovkin will encounter at the higher weights, if not worse, man. So to prevent all this bullshit, this man is 35 years old. He has left roughly 3 to 4 more years tops left in boxing. The man has no fucking time to waste, and these fighters want to play fucking games. That is the real deal when it comes down to Gennady Golovkin. Anyone who's saying anything other than that indifferently is fucking biased. They have an agenda or whatever the fuck. I'm proud of what Gennady Golovkin has done in the sport. I realize that a lot of these fighters are pussy, and they're trying to put him through the ring in order to get a fight with him. And, you know, it is what it fucking is, man. And that's just how I feel about Gennady Golovkin. This was to be the last video I would try to address this type of shit, but this is to address a certain individual that was in my inbox asking me this dumbass question. To the next video, Main Man, Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe. Twitter, Made Man 511. Facebook, Main Man, Made Man. Boxing Forum, Google Plus, Main Man, Made Man. You guys should see this shit. It's not complicated. It's actually common goddamn sense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what if you were in that man's shoes? You know what I mean? You're going to risk a fucking legacy, a super fight, something that will definitely define you for all of these unknown probabilities just to please you whining ass fans. Fuck out of here. To the next video. Peace out.